Hi guys, the beautiful ones review is finally here. These are gorgeous, stunning, that finish is on Dali Epicon level, and I'm not kidding here. These are Tuolihao Q8 version 3, aka Decware T6 speakers. They are also known as Decware T6 because for a time you could buy them in the United States from Decware as model T6. But there are two different versions of the store. It was either licensed to Decware or the Decware licensed it to Tuolihao, and now you can get those from AliExpress under the brand Tuolihao, and that's the model Q8 version 3. I got them some time ago from AliExpress for $500, and that was including shipping. The price was slightly lower because I've used some coupons. The regular price is something like $540. To Europe, the shipping was done via railroad, and it took exactly 2 months, up to a day. And there were no customs fees, there were no other taxes, nothing like that, just the price I've paid on the AliExpress. So these are speakers that are using 6.5 inch coaxial drivers with unusual metal bulge in the center. The bulge is hollow, and that's supposed to help with frequency response. The finish of them on them is immaculate. There are stunners, and that was one of the reasons I got them for. So before we'll take a look at the finish and on the inside, let's talk about the specification for these. So let's have another excellent picture-in-picture video effect, and these are supposed to be 8 kilograms per pair, and I can confirm each one of them is quite heavy. As I said, the driver is 6 inch in size, in diameter, and it's made of paper. The recommended power range for those is between 50 and 100 watts, and the manufacturer says the frequency range is between 45 Hz and 26 kHz. The impedance is given as 8 ohms and sensitivity as 96 decibels, so they should be fairly easy to drive. The interesting data on the thickness of the box is also here. You can see that the front panel is 36 millimeters thick, and the sides, top and the bottom are 18 millimeters. So these are quite nice, and we also have under this, these are the dimensions. We also have a guy doing some measurements. We have a build for the speaker, for the driver, and we also have an SPL frequency characteristics. So basically it looks excellent, right? It looks almost flat with small peak here somewhere near 20 kilohertz. It's something around 19 kilohertz probably, according to characteristics. And we also have that one printed here, although if you take a look at it, it does look different. I'll zoom in a second, but this one and that one are looking a little bit different, though the data on the sticker confirms to the data in the description from manufacturer. Okay, so now about the build. The front panel is easily removed. It's not magnetic. It's using traditional pegs to be mounted in this rubber filled holes. We also have a driver here, and you can see this weird metal thing in the center. It is hollow, it's metal, and it's supposed to be flattening the frequency response. The driver is mounted quite deep. This is, I don't know, like almost 3 centimeters here. And this is black matte finish. The sides, the top are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They have mirror-like finish with natural wood veneer underneath, and when they are catching light in full sunlight or in strong electric light, they are just glowing. Oh, by the way, here we have this sticker with characteristics. So let's zoom out. The finish is absolutely stunning. They look like that, and a couple of things that I'd like to point out. The first one, the sides are not exactly parallel, and that's good. We want to have as little standing reflections inside as possible. Also, the back is not flat either. It's not parallel to the front, and it's not flat. And as we will see in a minute looking inside, it's not just for the decoration purposes on the outside, but the inside follows this curvature. Okay, we also have a set of speaker tabs here, the same ones as you've seen in all of my amplifier reviews, and we also have a bass reflex port. It looks like it's screwed in, but these are just for decoration purposes. You can actually just pull it out with your hand because it's just placed here without any kind of glue or any kind of screws. So the finish is excellent. The look is excellent. Now I forgot to mention one thing. The bottom of the speaker is looking exactly as the top is looking, meaning beautiful. They were no skimping on lacquer or finish for the bottom, and the speakers are coming with a set of spikes that can be screwed in the bottom, so the speaker stands on, each speaker stands on 4 of these spikes, and they are also very, very nice. So I have removed one of the drivers, and before we will be taking a look at the cabinet inside, let's take at the driver, like that one. Okay, so this is paper, this is also paper, this is I think aluminum cone. As you can see, it's hollow. It doesn't have a regular shape inside. It looks like it's a kind of cone, but not with flat surfaces. The surfaces, they also have some kind of curvature. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that inside. This looks like casted aluminum, so this is an excellent build. This is not stamped steel, it's cast aluminum. So the description for the speaker was telling us that the connectors are gold plated, and they actually are. The description was also stating that this is silver wire, and to my surprise, it really does look like a silver wire. The mesh here is very delicate, that one. You won't be able, probably you won't be able to see, yes, you will be able to see a part of the coil inside. That copper shine inside is coil, but as you can probably see, we have a difference against the picture in the offer, because the picture in the offer was showing us a ring of round neodymium magnets here, and as you can see, there's nothing like that in my speaker. It's also not very heavy, it's quite light, but then again aluminum is light. Yes, we also have some foam here for the vibrations and for closing the gaps when the speaker is mounted to the chassis. One more thing, it's 6.5, but the mounting space for the speaker is really precisely cut, meaning that the speaker, the driver, fits the cut perfectly. And that's one of the things worth mentioning, because that's part of the finish for the speaker. Now, in order to disassemble that speaker, you need to remove those 4 rubber fillings, and then underneath that you'll have access to 4 hex screws that are holding the front plate in place. Let's rotate that like that. The front plate, you can see it on the speaker, but it really is quite thick. I will move my camera now down to show you the inside of the speaker. I've opened the second one and it's lying on my carpet, so give me a second. Okay, so we're back to shaky hand-taken videos. The finish of on them is immaculate. I am not sure if you'll be able to see, you should be able to see in this corner when there was polish. You should be able to see how thick is the layer of the translucent paint on them. It's something like 0.5 millimeter or something like that. So they look absolutely beautiful, and that's the reason why they are catching the light like mirrors. Now, as for the cabinet itself, it's quite thick, and that's not even mentioning the front plate that I was showing you earlier. The front plate is about 3 centimeters thick, something like that, and the back holds 2 pegs that are securing the plate in those holes. And also the front plate is screwed to the rest of the chassis with 4 hex screws. About the inside, so the first interesting surprise is that this is actually a quite high quality speaker cable. It's a Yarbo speaker cable, and this is not some kind of thin wire. It's I don't know, it's something like 5 or 4 millimeters square at least in diameter, and it says it's from OHFC, and it says I think it's made in Germany. So I was pleasantly surprised by the cable inside. We also do have some polyfill, and under the polyfill we have speaker binding posts, and we also have a nice brace down there. So the wrapping test, knocking test goes like that. It's a really high quality chassis. I would be surprised if I would be able to get something like that in Europe for the price of these speakers as they are. I mean, for $500, I don't think I would be able to get a set of speaker boxes with that kind of finish. Yeah, so it looks really, really good. Now let's finish the part with the shaky videos. You can also see the mounting places for the cones, for the spikes. Now let's go back to the second speaker and let's talk about the sound quality. Okay, so we're back to my desk, so let's rotate the speaker like that so you can look at it while I'll be talking about the sound quality. So getting back to my notes, yeah, I've covered the internal build. So let's start as usual with the bass. So paper cones give those speakers organic bass, but it's neither fast or not very precise. But that's the trait of having full range drivers and paper cones. The sound, the bass is warm, it's a bit soft, it doesn't draw your attention. Low guitar tones sound quite nice and natural. Piano can be interesting too, but the bass doesn't go very low. These are 6.5 inch drivers, and I was expecting them to go lower than what I heard. I think they are starting to go down at something like 70 Hz, maybe even earlier than that. Now, the mid-range. Well, there is no way around it. The mid-range is disaster. Yeah, I've bought 3, 4, 5 sets of speakers from AliExpress, 2 sets of small outlawns, 1 set of large outlawns M3, coaxial 8-inch drivers, also outlawns, and the big M10s, that's 5, and these are the 6 pair. So this is the first one that's terrible. There is something very wrong with frequency response, so basically that's a lie. And the frequency response in the in the description of the auction is also a lie. It's not flat. I would draw something like that, very large and very wide, deep in the mids, and you know, then you maybe would say they are V-shaped. Technically, yes, because you'd have something like that, but not, because V-shaped would mean that you have natural mid-range and elevated bass and treble response. but these are like, and it's really, really bad. Everything is terribly muddy and foggy. They literally sound like something would be damaged with the drivers. And that's something that I suspected at the beginning. But then I've taken a look at both of the drivers, and they actually look fine. There's nothing wrong with them, and they sound exactly the same. In a bad way, but exactly the same way. So for me, it's like a karaoke machine trying to suppress vocals. If you remember, these were quite popular at the beginning of 2000s and maybe not in the 90s, but there were simple machines that you could use to play your favorite song, and they were trying to suppress mid-range so you can hear your own voice, not the singer's voice. These sound like that. Okay, on the good side, there is no listening fatigue, just anger and irritation, but they will not make you fatigued. Now, moving on to treble. Disaster continues. No air, no transparency, occasional sparkle is like a random ray of light in the rainstorm. Like somebody would be drowning, and sometimes you would be able to see a single hand above the water level. The treble is as bad as mid-range. Surprisingly, now and then you will have some sparkle, you will have some clean sounds, but then again, my ears tell me that these would be somewhere in the stop range here. So it means that we have a large dip that covers mid-range and low treble, but the high treble is fine. Oh well. It's bad. It really is bad. I gave you a kind of spoiler alert because in comments for some other reviews, you were asking me about those ones, and some of you said that you're going to buy them, and I've told you, no, don't do that. But I don't know how many of you guys have noticed that in that hidden spoiler in the comments. Now, moving on to detail. And disaster strikes again. With muddy mid-range and gagged treble, these speakers have AM radio amount of detail. Talking about that would be like kicking the dead guy. We don't have any detail. So let's move to the scene. Imaging relies on the detail. Interestingly, there are bits and pieces of imaging here and there. They can manage center image, yes, not always, but sometimes they can. You can hear things to the left and to the right, but there is no precision, everything is fuzzy, and big instruments are overlapping. Everything is big, everything is overlapping, piano is all over the guitar is all over the singer. Yes, you can hear that something is on the left, something is on the right, but no precision, everything's fuzzy, everything's layered one on top of another. No depth information, no height information whatsoever. Forget about that. So, the summary. I really hated reviewing them. I've tried 3 times to finish the review, to try to finish the listening sessions, to calm down and try to assess the usual stuff in calm and professional manner. My regular parts for the review. And it's not like I'm angry because I've lost some money. I did, but that just happens. It wasn't that much. But the cabinets are fine, so we'll get to that in a second. I did lose some money, but I'm angry because they twist and mutate my music into something terrible that I hate to hear. If these would have crossovers, I could blame the crossovers. But these are full range drivers, there's just a piece of quite nice quality cable between the driver and the speaker posts, so I cannot blame anything inside. It's so bad that I bought another full range drivers to salvage these beautiful boxes. You know, it's like meeting a beautiful woman, stunning bombshell, and then she opens her mouth and says something terrible stupid or something terrible hateful. So anyway, finishing my rant, I will replace the drivers with original... Oh god, these are heavy. Ugh. Let's show you these guys. And there was also a spoiler about that, because you were able to see them in one of my photos that I posted in my YouTube social feed. These are the same size, not exactly up to a millimeter, but these are also 6.5 drivers, and these are Fast 6 from Lisong. These are original Lisongs, not the other company that's based in Taiwan. They are really heavy, as you can see. Let's get that one up. The difference in the magnet size is striking. These are also made from cast aluminium, and they have paper cones too. So the idea is to replace those, I'm missing words here, let's say bad drivers with Lisong Fast 6, and then maybe I'll do a follow-up video on that. I want to make a review on those anyway, and I have a small plan to play with open baffles again, because they have very nice finish for the speaker posts. You can actually use bananas here, or you can screw the speaker cable inside. But I have this small idea to order plywood laser cut open baffles and just try them like that, because there are so many good reviews on those over the web. So getting back to those, I may do a follow-up video on those boxes with Lisong drivers, because they look beautiful. And really, guys, the finish on these, the quality, the perfection of the lines, everything is matching up to within 1 or less than 1 millimeter tolerance. The boxes are incredible. The speakers sound terrible, but the boxes are incredible. So, unless you need beautiful boxes, avoid those speakers. Run away, don't look back, don't buy them. And this time, do not buy me a beer, guys, as I would need to get seriously drunk with it. But you may subscribe my channel to give me moral support after hearing those. If you are able to get this far with me, thanks for your patience, and try to have a great rest of the day. Beautiful, bad sounding speakers. Bye guys, see you next time.